I would like to present 9 practical ways for multicultural teams to help them improve their relationships with each other in the context of money, finances, and accounting. Number 1, foster social relationships. We need to cloak all accounting work in relationships, in the spirit of co-equals. This includes our attitudes as well as the decisions we make. Consider Bob, the finance officer. Is the only time he contacts his project colleague when he needs financial reports or when the colleague has done something incorrectly? If so, the colleague will soon think that Bob is simply a police officer. But if there's a context of care and a sense of safety, then when this healthy rapport is in place, the finance officer should be able to freely ask questions. And the project colleague should welcome the questions. And consider how communication takes place. Just by emails and text messages? Could Bob also use phone calls or video conferencing to ensure positive interaction, facial expressions, a voice tone, and other nuances? Or perhaps he could schedule regular meetings where they talk about other matters such as family experiences or prayer concerns. Maybe offer a training lesson or introduce a new tool or even a personal visit. In this way, Bob nurtures and fosters a healthy relationship. The constant asking questions may hurt the relationship. If possible, try to involve others to do the asking, and definitely ask separately in private conversations. Always ensure to ask questions in the framework of a good relationship. When we believe the best in the other, we will deepen our relationships and improve output. Lederletner mentions a study where teachers believed that their students were bright, and these students were more successful than where teachers believed that the students were below average. And the principle here is that the finance officer, finance manager, that they develop healthy and positive attitudes with project directors, and of course, vice versa. Number 2, guard against overdependence on documents. I need another receipt. But receipts can be almost useless. Nowadays, it's easy just to make a receipt on the whim or create documents as requested. Often a seller and purchaser, they connive together to make appropriate receipts by invoicing the item higher than the actual cost, and then they split the profit when the invoice is reimbursed. Moreover, in many places where transactions are in cash, it may be impractical to require receipts from the seller. Very often, the seller has no receipting capacity. For example, a taxi driver, though that's changing. Now, is it possible to contextualize financial reporting by drafting self-made receipts for such cash purchases to help the team invoice properly? Yes, law is law and formal receipts are required. But how can we move from an over-exacting emphasis on the letter of the law approach and always another document to a genuine spirit of the law? Another temptation is to receive money for one project expense from several different sources. We call it double dipping. A project director crafts receipts as needed and receives double or even triple funding for the same project. So simply another receipt won't prevent this. So we need to find creative ways to do due diligence to prevent such fraudulent practices. Number 3, training. Home office or headquarters writes a 5-page financial policy and uploads it on the shared folder. Now, will anyone read it? Or we run a 1-hour online session on how to do double entry bookkeeping for some who have worked with cash all their lives. I asked a finance expert for advice on this module I was doing, and he sent me a 1-page summary on accountability. I had to read it about 3 times before I could fully understand it. Now, I have it here somewhere on my desk and I'm going to upload it. I think it's a great article, but I just laughed when he did that because it's exactly what finance officers seem to do. Well-meaning, of course. So for the finance officer, consider the team who's receiving the funds or the person giving the reports. Are they rural or college educated? Do they have capacity or experience to use special finance software? The person may be a poet, a great Bible teacher, or a gifted in music. Honor them for their gifting. But don't assume that they understand accounting principles and practices. And as we understand common financial patterns of the local community, we can offer appropriate training. Train in person, train on the job, train one-on-one, send team members to workshops, train those already skilled to upskill and uplift them, provide more resources. Training costs and takes time, but it's necessary and worth it. But training must go both ways. We need training for Western and expat finance officers so they can appreciate and work with the local cultures. And this will strengthen relationships and serve as an investment for years to come. Number 4, dare to evaluate and welcome audits. Any project needs both internal evaluations and external audits. And we need to dare to evaluate ourselves and ask questions of ourselves and even allow others to monitor and critique us. Now, I found that ministries from honor-shame cultures, they struggle with genuine self-evaluation and healthy monitoring. But such critical activities only help to improve ministry. Western agencies emphasize external audits. However, audits only work effectively if auditors cannot be bribed or coerced to adjust their reports in favor of the nonprofit organization. Good financial practices demand that there are no personal relationships between the auditors and the organization. However, as much as possible, work with auditors from the country where you're asking for audit reports. Ideally, auditors should be approved by the board of an organization. Now, it's not a good sign when a local ministry downplays the needs for an outside audit. That's when you need to question the financial integrity of that ministry. And I say to every organization, welcome the annual outside audit, even though it costs money. It is worth it, as it will give your organization credibility to donors and other ministries. Let's take a moment to go through this following activity.